Hello viewers, welcome to another segment here on Series TV. I am your host, Goodness Chuso, and today we will have a topic of discussion. What is the topic all about? But first, let me just digress. The topic has to deal with the society at large. Nigerian children, the country, children roaming about the streets, what's going on? Every day in the streets of Nigeria, we have young children, roaming about the streets. Children of young age roaming about the streets in the states of Abuja, Kano, Imo State, one of the major cities, even the minor cities. So what is going on? That brings us to the topic of today's discussion: Nigerian street children, consequences for the society, and a call to action. Joining me to unpack this interesting topic would be Rotoractor Chukwubueze. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And again, Rotarian Frank Peace, aka Jokobi. You're welcome, sir.
Pleasure's nice to be here.
Okay, so I hope I got the pronunciation.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, thank God. So now, when you hear street children, sir, what comes to your mind? When you hear street children, what comes to your mind?
Okay, I think let me give him the floor. Let me give Trevor the floor to start off.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
When we talk about the street children, I cannot go straight to tell you what the street children is all about if I don't present where we are coming from and the angle we are coming from. First, we are members of Bishop of Street Children of Humanitarian Foundation, and it is our goal to elevate the lives of street children. Now that brings us to the question and answer to the question you showed the street children. When we talk about the street children, we are talking about the youths, the individuals, the children that are on the streets. Not just on the streets, in our various communities, not just in our various communities, within our home places, our environs. And why we have them as street children is that they are just vulnerable and children or youth at risk. They have no one to think for them or to guide them. They are just there helpless. So that is why we have that concern to the street children.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to add to that?
The little I have to add is you have said it all like in the conclusion, the helpless. So street children are seen as the non-variables, like people that doesn't have where they can put their head. They don't have a good education, they don't have good food or a good shelter, so they are just helpless. So that is just general word. It's just helpless.
Okay, now we've gotten that that concept, the street children. But now the question stands: what causes this? What are the causes of the children on the streets? Who are to blame? The parents or the society? Why are there children on the streets?
Oh, if you're talking to why are there children on the streets and who are to be blamed? First, I think what we should ask is what caused or what led to the children being in the streets.
Okay.
Yeah. There are so many factors that can make one or that can lead the child to the streets, which is one, I think, education gap, like where the child is not taught from scratch, like going through scratch, through pre-nursery, primary, and the rest of them. Then all of a sudden you just wake up one morning and say, oh yeah, dress up, I'm going to recite to school. You didn't give the child that foundation level of the education to understand that this is where it should be. Should be the starting point of where you should go to. Then when you've seen he has grown up to somehow talking, then you now want to force education to him. He's seeing it as a threat to him. Because one, going there, meeting other children, where will he start from? That is the thing. So it's just like a threat to him, now making him feel make him not to feel among where his peers should be. So instead of that, he will look for a way to take himself out of that place. So that is one. Then another thing is the home training we always talk about, where we say parents try to train your child well, or try to give them the best training you think you can give them. Most times parents push their children to the streets. Most times they push their children to the street. Like,
How?
yeah, why I say most times parents push their children to the streets is the type of training you give to your child. How, like, let me say, okay, now your child is in school and he came back with the results of the term, and the result he came back with is let me say he's around 20 out of 30 in the school. Instead of you to encourage him, you are now scoring him. That person better first. Or be surely. Like, there's this kind of how like the romance we should give him, like make him feel okay, yes, that he tried, but he should do better than giving you all those kind of words that will not be making him think, am I sure that this school is ready for me? Am I sure that this is the right place I am? Like, you start making your child have so much things going around. Then when he now meets the bad people, like the bad peers, they will start telling him, okay, guy, do this one, do this one. Before you know it, you are losing your child. Your child will start giving you some attitude, and you start being like, this is not the person I know before. What is happening? What is happening? But you don't know that the roots is where it started from. Yeah.
But I would like to define in that space, because coming, for instance, right, you have said this is the reason why parents push their children to the streets, right? But then, what about parents who bet more than they can carry?
Okay, well, reflecting on the reasons why we have strict children, strict environments. One, it is a broader issue, and it is also a systemic issue.
The system is breathing.
The system ought to be blamed. Then we also have, like what my colleague said, family breakdown. Family breakdown. We also have what we call what we say. Also from the family angle, marriage, unplanned marriage, and unplanned child bearing. What led to our foundation was our experience through some years back when some of us were posted in universities working. When we use an instance, seeing a family where you will have 15 children. Then, as a young teacher, teaching in a primary school, leaving parents to bring their children to school for them to be taught. Parents will come to beg you, they want to give you 2 out of 15 children.
That's 2 children.
2 children.
Okay.
You can only afford 2 children out of 15 children. Then see the other ones, when they can no longer take care of them, you see them roaming on the streets. Some instantly becomes begging on the streets. Some in act for survival, some willing to hawk at any stage of life. From that angle, when they begin to see more money, you see them begin to want to embrace independence, not knowing the consequences of that. On the other edge, you see them when there is no way, maybe there is not a long hair between them and the parents, they like to be on the streets because there is no other mentorship. That is family breakdown.
Okay.
Family also contribute to that. Then we talk about systemic failure. We, even despite these family issues, we are not supposed to have children on the streets if we have a proper system that works. The government should have intervened on the areas of these issues regarding children on the streets. There is no reason why there should be a single child on the streets while we have a functional government actually have. Then you talk about the economy that is affecting everyone. You go from this road here now to Wedra. If you calculate, you see more than hundreds of thousands of children trying to survive, even at this hot sun. You see a child of 5 years carrying this one bucket of $100. Why? Are they not coming from home? That's why we say that street children is not only limited to children who are just being exposed on the street. They even come from home. They have backgrounds.
You are saying something concerning the system.
Yes.
I want you to elaborate more on that angle. How the government, the government is to be blamed in this scenario.
The government ought to be blamed in this scenario because it is one of their primary responsibility to take care of the world citizens. And when you talk about the citizens, everyone in the society is all inclusive in the measurement of citizenship, including the child in the house, the child on the streets. Now, there are centers and there are agencies that are supposed to be taking care of these cases, the cases of children on the streets. How many agencies do we have in Nigeria that are actually taking care of this? Why are there now humanitarian or NGO trying to intervene in these issues? It's because of the lapses and the gaps. There is no reason why a child will not attend primary or secondary school. Even at times they will say there are free education. But this family that cannot be able to afford going to private school, there are even when you want to send them to that government school, you will still see a lot of things, but it's what I'm involved. They will see demand. So based on that, some of the parents they can't be able to do that. They will say the child, please go and work. Let us eat first while we think about education. And like that, we begin to see the children breathing into different things in the society. So the government is involved, and the economy is also involved. If there is a good economy, if the economy is stable, I don't think there's any reason why family or parents will allow their child to be begging on the street or will allow their child to be walking on the street or to be doing expected businesses in the street. So it is all around stuff.
You see something concerning civilians, we as a person, we can help. So, in what way do you think someone like me can help a child?
Good. In many that's when we blame the government, we also blame individuals because humanity plays first in everything. Just like as our motto, the motto of our foundation always say, compassion and empathy to young people. If you are not compassionate, if you cannot put the situation of the other to your own side, which is empathy, you cannot be able to help the other that is down there. So individuals also can come in to salvage the situation. How individuals can actually do that even as you're living now, you see a child walking, you can actually pick up the child and say, why are you walking? What is the problem? Interact with the person. From there, if it is financial issue or family breakdown or other issue, then if it is something you can actually help the child to get back to school. So you can actually do it. Like when we started, like let me use myself as an example. When we started, I was doing my NYC as a student. Then I saw a lot of children on the street. I was touched by the number of children I saw on the street. I started going around to pick them, to give the parents to allow them to go to school. And time came I have to start using my allowance, the NY salary, to pay for their school. So then school will just started at 4,000. So I was paid 30,000 as of that year. At least three persons being paid by and still have something extra. So if myself can do that, another person also can also do that. In so doing, we are helping us. Like what we are doing now with our foundation, you see many individuals coming in to assist with their little token to see that a child is taken back to school. So everyone
That
is
still based on our economy. But before we come back to that, I would like us to go on a short break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Hello, viewers. Welcome back from that short break. We are still here, and still the topic of discussion remains the street children. What's the consequences and what the society has to do to help them. So I'm still joined by my guests. Let me reintroduce them again. Rotaract Chukwubueze and Rotarian Frank Peace, aka Chokomilo. I love that name so much. Yeah, you're welcome back from that short break. Okay, now before we went on a short break, we were talking about the consequences. I'm sorry, we're talking about the street children, what led them to the street, and so on and so forth. So now, what risks do you think these children face on the road? What risks do they face every day? They're on the streets. There was this book I read when I was in school. The name of the book is Faceless. It's a popular book, and I love that book so much because it talked about the street children. I can remember the main character, the protagonist there, she was a street child, right? Yeah, Baby T, that's her name, Baby T. She was a street child and she was born in the streets and faced a lot of things, sexual harassment and bullying. They had to stay sleep in the shade to survive. So that's what brings me to this question. What kind of risks do those children face on a daily basis?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I start, I would like to paint our foundation a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, our foundation, which is the Future Streets, listen. I would say that our core values is in line with Rotary International. Yeah, because for you to accept to be a humanitarian, you should have that heart of humanity in you. Are you ready to spare one third of your food daily for the people outside? That's what Rotary entails. Like you eat 3 square meal, can you give 1 square meal out of that 3? You take 2 and give them 1 for them to eat while you eat 2 square meal. So coming now to that, in our foundation we are much concerned about children and their upkeep and everything. The same thing with Rotary, because most of us are also part of the Rotary family. Yeah, so coming down to the risks children's face, I would say one is that they face the health challenge, and Rotary and our foundation also tries in a way to see how we can cut into those health issues. Like in our foundation, the last project we did was a water and sanitation project, which we did. So we even tried to take it down to the rural area, sorry, not even the urban. And Rotary also does same projects, whereby we also give scholarship. There are some students we paid their school fees some months back. Rotary also encourage on basic education and literacy. So when you face this health challenge, what that you being in the street now, you face health challenge because one, you are open to air, you are open to disease. Because when you are lying, when you are saying you are using for your shelter, how clean, how accommodating is that place? Because you are just being open to health issues and the rest of them. Then secondly, you are also risking yourself to safety and security reasons because there might be a robbery area now, and because you are just seen at that facility, you are being carried out. as a suspect. Unless someone by God's grace had to signify you out or say, no, I know this person, he always lives here. That's when you now come out clean. But if not, everybody, like in Nigeria, what they say is that once a sin happens, everybody is a suspect until they are done with the investigation and bring out the culprit of that incident. So for you being on the street, you are risking yourself to the security awareness of that street. Because everybody now will be looking at you like, what intention does this person have that is making him sleep around here? You understand this? So these are the causes, these are the risks people, the children face on the street.
Okay, but do you think that there are the high rising crime rates currently
Okay.
in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Do you think these children on the streets is linked to them, or do you just underestimate it? No, the children can't do this, or do you think that with the high rise in crime in Nigeria, do you think it's linked to these children in the streets?
To that question,
Mm.
statistically in Nigeria has over 10 million children on the streets. Particularly, you can check your statistics well.
Wow.
Then coming down to your question,
Mm.
I would say yes, it adds to it. Yes, it adds to it because those children, they are not morally how will I put it? They're not which language will I even use? Their morals are not really something you can hold up to. You understand? Like they don't have anyone to guide them through what they are doing. They don't have anyone to guide them through. So what comes in their head is what they think is best for them. So they need a guardian, they need a tutor to put them through in what they are doing. Okay, this way you are going to is not good, but I can still guide you on how you can still make it to be good for you. But whereby they don't have those kind people that can, let me say, educate them or tell them where they are getting it wrong or where they are getting it right, that is when it becomes a problem, and that is when they will now contribute to what is happening in the society, like the theft, the robbery, everything. For them to survive, they must look for one way or the other to use to survive, just to belong to the society.
Yeah, just as to addendum to what my colleague said, the high rate of criminalities or issues that are within the society, we cannot actually say that all of it is from the strict children or their negligence. But to be frank and honest, the negligence and the abandonment of these children also leads to that.
Okay.
In many, just like what my colleague and my brother said, if you abandon a child and then what you should expect is that as a child grows, he begins to embrace what we call survivalist mode and egotistic or self-interest perspective of life. And because the society is rough and rough to him, he does whatever that he feels that will give him the actual benefits at that moment to survive. And that is the main objective of the foundation here, to rescue, to rehabilitate, to reorient, to educate, and to reform. We pick them, we try to reassure them that they have every potential to be a better normal human person in the society. Then you begin to make findings if that child did that child have any parents? Is there a family background that is linked to that child? Because there are many of them that are orphans, they don't know their parents. They can't even trace their family history. Understand? So that kind of individual need to be rehabilitated. Then there are many of them that are parents, maybe they run out of family because of some issues. Understand? At that age, we need to help them, reform them, get back, educate them, and then see how we can bring them back to the family. again and then mentor from outside. Then these children, if at this moment you can't be able to do that, when they begin to grow, you will see them start doing a lot of things. They begin to meet negative peer influence, peer groups that will teach them one thing or the other. Like let's use the example of what is happening in Douglas. When you're going to Douglas, if you're not careful of
Your phone.
you're conscious of the movement,
Yes.
like these are children that are there, a child that you come out and you give something, and as you're going, he has gone to the level of what? Picking from your back.
Why, especially when you are coming to do a charity work like sharing food,
Exactly.
Okay.
the way they gather you, before you know it, you might lose
One of your
things, and you'll be like, it's not these people I'm just coming
So
to
to help.
to help.
It is they also contribute,
Yeah.
but there are still individuals that are home that also contribute. Understand? So the government, the individuals have families, also have even religious tenants have a lot of role to play on containing this at this level. So that's what I was saying.
Okay, to add to that story you just shared concerning helping them on the streets, and then you see you gather your. The other day I was in Douglas, yeah. So this little girl, she was like, "Auntie, give me money, auntie, give me money." And I don't have money, I don't have money. Trying to normally if I have, I'll give. So when I entered the bus, this girl dragged me by the skin, like it was painful that day. Like it was by the grace of God I didn't cry that day. So it was really, really painful. So now we've talked about the consequences and everything around it.
And also, they also face, and I'm sorry to cut, they also face abuse
Okay.
and exploitations in many angles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
That's
as
true.
they want to exploit,
Yeah.
others also exploit their vulnerability.
Yes. Yes.
Like
yes.
that's why we have
Teenage pregnancies.
Exactly.
Yes.
and many other cases like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And also face psychological issues from that trauma because the witnesses trauma.
Okay. Let's move towards the government angle. Now, the policies, because there are child protection policies guiding children, especially ones even though that the government is overlooking some of these things, but the constitution also made um, let's say a segment, right? A policy for these children. But these policies are they strong enough to guide these children correctly now? Or is it just there for we have it though, but it's not working effectively? Because even the other day we are discussing something on education, and we we are discussing something on education, and then a lot of things are happening around the educational sector. But even though there is an agency guiding this educational aspect, but they are not being enforced. So is it the same thing with these children in the streets?
Yes. Uh, in many ways, we won't blame the government entirely, right? And the government is also trying all their best, their own very best to help. We have a lot of policies. It is not about policies. It is about practicability and pragmatic effort in enforcing policy. Like what we have in our one of our well we usually say, or what I mean my personal philosophy, practice what you preach or what you propagate and live by what you propagate. There are many policies that talk about all these that try to oversee the welfare of children on the streets, the vulnerable children. But the problem we are having in our society today is the enforcement of those policies. I use an instance of what happened to me some years ago when we wanted to write a, a project trying to seek help for children, literacy based project. Then, on the verge of writing, I got a lot of criticism that said I wanted to submit that project to the humanitarian affair. And the critique was all about if you send this project In that project, we have that we have number of children on the street. The government will fight against it. The government will say that there are not children on the street. You see, now trying to protect the image of the society so that the other world will not see or know that actually there are children in the society. This brings about the practicability of these policies, putting them in practice, understand, and then for the benefit of the individual that are involved.
And to come into what you said
Yes.
in this policy, we have the Child Right Act,
Yes.
we have the UBE, that is the Universal Basic
Exactly.
Education, we have which other one again from UN. So these are policies now, like the Universal Basic Education. I think why this policy was raised or was brought into education for primary and nursery schools is for them to extend the free education,
Exactly.
the free to health management, the free to everything that a child could need but couldn't get to access to. Like most times, that's why most of us we are talking about Japa. Why are most of us Japa? Because we are not getting all those things we need to get from government. Okay, I have a friend of mine that just went to Canada. Was it last year and the last 2 years? Now, when I was speaking with him, he was not telling me that Nigeria is really behind.
Wow.
Someone that was in Nigeria till he traveled down to Canada. Now had to open his mouth and say Nigeria is still behind. That over there it's hard to see a child on the streets. Over there it's hard to see a child on the street. And each of those children has an insurance covering them, which we don't even have in our country. And when you are coming to a basic education, they is one of their priorities over there for every child to have that basic education. And for instance, now when you have a child over there and you are not up to the expectation of taking care of that child, the government takes it from you and train that child. In that way, you are losing your child. You are just seeing your child going, the government is handing your child over. At that moment, you cannot even come and see your child. You can only say hi and go. But the child is no more under your custody. So if we have such implementation here, I think the rate of children on the street will reduce. The rate of children will reduce. So it's those policies that we need to start awakening through the government for them to let them know that these policies through the Commission of Education will write, like we are planning on a course visit soon to the Commission of Education, and I think we will put a copy first to him so that we can have some discussions in how to make all this go well. Even most NGOs that are willing to still come and incorporate with us, we are all open to accept.
Okay.
So that we can make this move a better one and more profitable.
Yes, before we round up, like I would like to, know more about this NGO. Please, what's the name? Future for
Yeah, it's
Street.
the future for street children.
Okay,
It's a
so
Nigerian foundation.
what have you guys, achieved so far? When was it started? How far has it gone? And
Okay, the young man contractor.
Mr. Okay,
Yeah, he's a founder of the foundation. So
Okay.
he now brought us that has little knowledge of humanitarian activities. Like I've been a humanitarian from secondary school. I was a Red Cross member. I'm still a Red Cross member
Okay.
till now. I'm a 29 or 30 blood time donor.
Wow.
Yeah, major blood time donor. And I don't take money for that. Yeah, I have my certificates that are speaking for me. I have done so many humanitarian works within me.
Oh.
Yeah, so when he now brought the idea of that this is all about humanity, I now saw it, went through it, and now told him, okay, fine, if this is this, then I'm in. Because he's the founder of that, so he has more highlights and
Okay,
perspective
sir.
on it.
Let's hear from you.
As I will say, we are members of Future for Street Children Humanitarian Foundation. I am just the coordinator or initiator, understand, and also an active member of the foundation. I collaborate with my team. We work as a team in taking care of the welfare and social benefits of children that are being ignored on the street. What we do is to help them get them back to school. We also put in policies like skin acquisitions. It's not everyone that has the brain for education, but a child who cannot read can actually be able to do one or two. So we believe that education is a broad something. It's something that's encompassing. It's something that it can either be theoretical or it can also be practical. So we help in many angles. I will only list for you what we do in the foundation. One of our goals in the foundation. One, our vision is to recruit, to campaign and propagate a world where every street child is seen and cherished as a special gift of God. Then, what we do also is to discover these street children and youth at risk in the society. We rescue them, we rehabilitate them, we educate, we integrate them back to the society. And then we also provide them with scholarships. We give a lot of children scholarships. We have a lot of children in secondary, primary, and even the university level. Yeah. Then we also collaborate with organizations too in seeing that we achieve this aim. Then we also organize educational retreats and seminars, career path talks to guide youth. Then we also assist families. There are poor families. If you see a woman who has 4 children whereas she has nothing doing, definitely out of that 4 children, 3 will be on the street. We assist them finding out what that woman or the father can do and support them to assist so that they also can take care of their role and responsibilities and so many other things that we do in the foundation which I cannot mention all day.
Okay. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Just briefly, this I just want to conclude with this question. Briefly, in the next 10 to 12 years, if things don't change for things don't change in Nigeria, what do you think the children, the society, sorry, children in the streets, what future do they what does the future hold for them? Just briefly, please. Our time is fast spent already.
This question is very concerning. This question is something we like. If you are in the church now, the pastor is preaching, he'll tell you there are some questions that need you not to give an urgent reply or answer.
Okay.
It's just for you to take home and pound down over it and check yourself. Because this question now you're asking me, or you're asking us, what holds of these children in the next 10 to 12 years? My dear, to me, I will tell you, I don't know for now.
Wow.
I don't know for now. But if only the government can retrace back towards the starting point of what those policies they accepted to be should be, and make sure that they are following through the regulations and the rules of this policy, I think that should be the starting point before we, the NGOs and other humanitarian bodies, can now come in to still help and enact it well and make it go smoothly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as John Locke said, a man is a wolf to his fellow man.
Yeah, sure.
The world becomes more animalistic. Evil happens more when we refuse to plan well. If actually we refuse, the individuals, the NGO, humanitarian organizations, and the government refuse to attend to this case, in the next 12 to 15 years, it will be more an animalistic society.
We pray it doesn't come.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't come up.
Okay,
That is
yeah.
why we are putting up effort to see that we salvage in our own little way.
Yeah.
That's notion.
Alright, viewers, you all have heard it. It has been a wonderful time in the studio today, and we discussed a lot concerning the street children. Please do try as much as possible to join an NGO try as much as possible to help the children in the street.
Yeah.
Try as much as possible to spare 3 square out of your 3 square meters.
That's
Spare
the
one
yes.
and help the children in the
Sure.
street.
It's very, very
Yes,
long way.
it will go a very long way. And please donate in every way you can, to help these NGOs who have brought out themselves to help the children in the streets. Please try as much as possible to donate and help us. Not only when it's in the festive period, because I noticed it's only in the
Yeah, that's
festive
it. That you
period.
see so
Yes.
much Nigerian
Yes, so please do well. You can start with now, you can start with tomorrow. Your 1,000 naira can go a long way. But that's not what we are here for. So it has been a wonderful time to be this day here. I remain your host, Kudesh and do well to follow us on our social media platform, our Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Do well to follow us and drop a comment below. Give, like I said earlier. So from all of us here in the studio, Serenity TV, bye. Till next time.